On the investor's side, looking at Axon and Mike, so if we bring it to the people side of the equation, in the operations, if you broaden it, so but LLMs, where does it fit in the broader consideration? How high on the priority list is it today?
Well, I think it's really high priority for everyone in the fundamental and value investing community. That doesn't mean that they've been investing tremendously and significantly in this area. I think last time I ran an informal survey, around 6% of the fund managers I spoke to were dedicating reasonable budget to this area. Majority of the people either use it for summarization of documents, using generic Gen AI tools, extracting information from publicly available data. So I think from this perspective, they know it's important. They know it's going to transform the way investment processes will work. Unfortunately, most of them have been focusing on this in the form of a pilot or ad hoc usage with generic tools, and haven't seen really that serious commitment to it. That has been my observation.
Yeah, I think I'd echo that to a degree, where there have been a number of, I think pilots and dabbling still by a number of players. We do use them for sure. And I think where we've had success, and Dan, I like your analogy of the college graduate. I think I'll steal that for my next panel. We have tried to take LLMs and try to predict a number of variables or get reads on what's important in the markets, and it doesn't really do that well. Where it does do well is if you, again, give that LLM a proper training and pay the tuition. And where it has worked out for us is if you take someone who does have 10, 20 years as an economics researcher, perhaps in the sell-side economics department, and you ask it about macroeconomic variables, and you have that dialogue, you train it, hey, what do you think? A, B, C, D, E, F. Nah, D and C are not that important. I wouldn't focus on that. And just constantly refine the LLM to focus on what the human believes is important and pulling those things out. Those have had more success for us. And again, I want to come back. It's not so much the make the trade on that information, but how can I use the LLM to take unstructured data, textual data, or even numbers, and distill that into data points, hard numbers that I can feed into my model. So that's one. And the other area where I think it's useful is not so much on, hey, give me a read plus or minus versus consensus, but even just a more generic, what are the themes being discussed? For a quant fund, the biggest danger is that the world tomorrow, something's different than it was 10 years ago. So you've built all these models and assumptions, and the world's changed. So having an LLM that can look at things, hey, what are the topics being discussed right now? If you built a model over the last 20 years, the question of US Fed, independence, it was there, here, and there, but not to the degree it is today. Is that an emerging theme an LLM could find for you and say, hey, there's something different you want to consider right now in the market that's not in your models, some kind of a warning bell just to say, things look like they might be different right now. I can't tell you which way, but hey, heads up, get the humans to take a look in a certain area.
Yeah, I mean, if you use it well, it can actually bring down the cost structure in a fund. Because right now, many mainstream platforms that are used by investment firms, they're almost like buying TV channel bundles. Like you want to watch ESPN, you have to buy Cooking Channel and all these other stuff too. Gen AI is very different in the sense that you pay by consumption, but you need to be able to implement it, properly. So the ones who are more purposeful about where the edge that they have in their investment process coming from, keep that, and then use automation for the rest of it, I think are the ones who are going to be more successful. And one more point that I want to add in terms of exciting things that I've seen is a focus on voice and video. LLM have mostly been focused on extracting information from textual data. One of the things I've seen a couple of funds have been experimenting with has been focusing on voice. Case in point, let's say if you're in a conference call, an analyst asks a CEO whether they like to do more tuck-in acquisitions, and CEO says no, versus a scenario where he says no. These voice-based systems can produce signals out of those situations where a traditional LLM system might fall short.